All right, so how do you live a non-miserable life? So I'm not even talking about having a great life or thriving, but just being okay with basically not being miserable, man. Anybody who knows what it feels like to be miserable, to wake up in the morning and just not be excited for the day, if you can understand that feeling, then you understand that it's super important not to want to wake up and feel that way ever, right? And so I started thinking about what I could do, what you could do, what anybody can do to make sure that they at least give themselves a fighting chance at just feeling okay, never mind thriving. So, the first one I would say is you need to travel. And I say that because you need that stimuli, you need that cognitive overload. You need to be able to go somewhere different, remove yourself from the environment that you're usually in. And I have this quote that always stayed with me from Ibn Battuta, which says, traveling, it leaves you speechless and then it turns you into a storyteller. All right. And I think it's so important to kind of just be in a new place, take in the new environment, and you always come away with something. You always come away with a story, with something that you can integrate and apply when you come back into your usual environment. And I think it stays with you. So that's the importance and beauty of being able to go to different places that you've never been. I took a trip this summer to Europe, and it was one of those profound experiences, right? Because I came away with so much, and I came back, and it stayed with me, right? So a lot of the things that you experience in other places, you can come back and they stay with you, right? You internalize them, if you will. And it doesn't have to be anywhere far away. It just has to be somewhere that you're not usually in. I think that's like the beauty of it, right? Especially if you're going to be out in nature. That's one of the most important things if you want to live a non-miserable life. The other one is you need to eat well. All right, not only just to feel well, but to look better, right? If you want your skin to look better, if you want your hair to look better. Um, these are all reasons why you need to try to eat well. It's quite obvious, right? And then obviously hydrate. You want to drink plenty of water. My go-to source is definitely mineral water. I love the fizz. If I'm not drinking mineral water, I'm taking ginger shots. If I'm not taking ginger shots, then I'll have some espresso. No sugar. The other one obviously it's quite obvious, right? Thank God for Wim Hof, is cold exposure. Uh, there's something about it, right? If you're anxious, it definitely will release that tension. There's nothing easy about it, but it definitely feels great after the fact, never during. So definitely do some cold exposure. The other one is to challenge yourself. All right, you need to be able to do things that are difficult, if not on a daily basis, but as often as possible, just so you get that uptick in testosterone. You need to be able to challenge yourself, and they could be small challenges, minor things, but the point is you're doing them every day, right? I have an agenda of things I want to set out for the day, and I love the little check marks at the end, or I can cross them out knowing that I set out to do these things and I wrote them down. So it's like now I have to really get them done, right? Otherwise, they just stay in the page and they never get crossed out. So that's an important one, is to challenge yourself. The next one is to find somebody, right, that you're going to be with, most likely, or I would hope, a wife, right, in the long term. Make sure that whoever that is it's a very good decision, because I've seen plenty of people that make the wrong choice in who they end up wanting to be with, and it ends up costing them dearly, right? That is one of the biggest decisions you can make with your life, right? Is who you end up wanting to be with, or who you choose to be with, right? And most people make the mistake of not choosing the right person. So be very mindful of who you let into your life, because ultimately you're going to spend most of your life with this person, around this person, right? Whether you work, no matter what, at the end of the day, you're going to have to see this person, right? And if you decide to have children with them, well, you can only imagine. Super important to make the right decision about who you decide to live with, or who you decide to spend the rest of your life with. The other one is obviously a career, right? What is it that you want to do? Obviously, if you lean into, oh, it's all about money, good luck, because what happens once that need is met? So the money thing can only take you so far. That can't be everything. There definitely needs to be something about the job that you enjoy, so that you're not just waiting for Friday so that you can run a happy hour and forget all about what happened during the week. You need to be able to say that you love and look forward to a Monday, for example, right? Because it's the start of a week, right? Not dreading it. So that one's super important as well, especially because you're going to spend most of your time dedicated to a certain craft or a career. So be mindful of that. The other one is read. You need to read. You need to challenge yourself. You need to have fresh ideas. You need to gain new perspective. Um, it's just so important. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily would be where I am without reading. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, you have to take action, but it's ideas that sort of stimulate um, a new perspective and to do all the things that I'm like, okay, I want to go to these places, or I want to feel what this feels like, or I want to experience this. Right? So it gives you literally an insight into the way other people think, and I think it's a good way to kind of expose yourself to mentorship, right? To lessons, to life, to personalities, and things of that nature. So I definitely think that reading is a super important one to live a non-miserable life. Um, the other one is to have a relationship with some kind of external entity, something outside yourself. You need a spiritual practice, whatever it is, right? I don't want to say what you should do, but I definitely think and I recommend that it's one that I kind of got away with for a long time, not realizing that it was so important. And now that I think about it, I'm like, man, like it's such a fundamental thing, right? To be able to have something outside of yourself that you can lean on for support, strength, and nurturing. So find whatever that spiritual path is for yourself, but definitely don't neglect it, because you can have all your other needs met, but if you neglect this one sort of need, I don't know how long you can go without feeling like there's something missing. Um, so I think that one's one of the more important ones for me, at least on my list, on how to live a non-miserable life. Anyhow, I hope this helped. I need to go do a calisthenics workout, so I'm very excited for that, and see you on the next one.